Steph, after a season like that and a game like that, what did you feel was important to say to your team right after it ended?
Just how proud I am of them. You know, they have been an absolute joy to coach. It's an incredible group of women, an incredibly connected group. They're a great example to everybody.
What do you call a team that loses 6 core players to injury, watches its star guard rush to the hospital, and sees its all-star center foul out on calls that left fans stunned, yet still drags the reigning 2-time champions to the brink of elimination? You call it the 2025 Indiana Fever. The final score may have gone to the Las Vegas Aces, but what came after told a different story. Head coach Stephanie White's post-game words didn't just capture the fight her team showed, they revealed the real victory. Today, we're diving into one of the most unforgettable playoff battles in WNBA history, and why White's message might become the foundation of the Fever's future.
It means to just put one foot in front of the other, to persevere, to welcome people into the fold, to not give in to circumstance, to lead with grace and dignity, to sacrifice for a greater good and a common good. I'm so thankful to coach these women. And I'm just thankful for this experience with.
The Fever's 2025 season began with promise but quickly unraveled into a war of survival. When Caitlin Clark went down in mid-July with a groin injury, the outlook shifted instantly. Soon after, Sydney Colson tore her ACL, Ari McDonald suffered a foot injury, Sophie Cunningham sprained her MCL, Chloe BBY hurt her knee, and Damiris Dantas missed time with a concussion.
We talked about resiliency with this team all season long, but tonight it felt like that wasn't a strong enough word. Have you been a part of a game like that? And just, it felt like everyone laid it all out there.
I feel like there's so many games that we've had this year where that's happened. You know, where you just, you lay it on the line. And, you know, I appreciate what O said, because as coaches, we talk about this all the time. Like, this group continued to allow us as coaches to push them further, harder, to move the bar, to raise the bar.
What should have been a year of growth instead became a battle just to put a roster on the floor. Hardship contracts filled gaps, new faces were thrown into heavy minutes, and chaos became the norm. On paper, Indiana was done, but the Fever refused to fold.
There's some resistance to that, and there isn't with this group. There wasn't with this group. And because of that, you know, then because of their connectedness, they're able to accomplish things that some of y'all didn't think that they're capable of accomplishing. But nobody in our locker room had any doubt. And in our huddles, and we kept talking about it, that we're ready for these moments.
Much of that resilience came from Stephanie White. Her message never wavered: resilience, grace, and dignity. She didn't allow her team to measure itself by who was missing. Instead, she demanded they set a standard, one that carried meaning no matter who wore the jersey.
Rosters change from year to year. You'll never have the same group. What's that feeling when you walk out of here knowing this is something you'll be talking about for years?
I think the first word that comes to mind is just gratitude. I mean, I've experienced some special teams in this league, in this organization, but collectively, this group has been at the top. So I'm extremely grateful for every single one of them.
That belief showed up during the Commissioner's Cup, when Indiana stunned the Minnesota Lynx despite barely having enough bodies to rotate. Critics dismissed it. Opponents laughed at the idea of a playoff run. But by the postseason, the Fever weren't just surviving, they had become fearless. Playing with nothing to lose and everything to gain, they pushed the Aces dynasty to the edge.
But what these women accomplished together, I mean, it's a special story. It's a special story, and I hope one day it's told. But I'm so proud and so grateful.
What do you call it when everything that can go wrong does? That was the Fever's reality in Las Vegas. Already shorthanded.
Can't hit the mid-range. Mitchell pursues the board. Another chance for Indiana. That's been a theme in the early going. Mitchell a three is good. More second chance.
Indiana leaned on players expected to play small roles. Then came the gut punch. Kelsey Mitchell collapsed, later rushed to the hospital with severe cramps.
They're going to roll back away the stretcher. But Kelsey Mitchell is going to be helped back towards the locker rooms is Melissa Smith, her former teammate, and then a bevy of the Aces come around to show their respect for Kelsey Mitchell and the remarkable season that she has had, which may have just ended right there.
At the same time, Aaliyah Boston was fighting the whistle as much as she was fighting the Aces. Every rebound risked a foul. Every drive drew another whistle. Meanwhile, Indiana players were battered on the other end with no calls. The frustration was visible on the court and audible in the stands.
Ball goes up. Aaliyah Boston.
I don't think that's a fact.
The Aces leaned on Aya Wilson's dominance, Jackie Young's relentless drives, and finally, Chelsea Gray's daggers in OT to seal the series. But the story wasn't Vegas advancing. It was Indiana refusing to break, even with everything stacked against them.
Fire. She's our battery. She's moving great, and she will drive us, and that's been true so far.
Thank you, Hal. Sims, pull-up jumper, she got it.
Odyssey Sims delivered a legendary 27-point performance, keeping the offense alive possession after possession.
Vegas run. They have their largest lead of the quarter. Boston finds Turner. Turner didn't want to shoot it. Petty will, and knock it down. The stats have not been gaudy, but the decision-making has been excellent tonight from Gray.
Yes.
Petty, they need it. They've got it.
Lexi Hull made the scrappy, unglamorous plays, steals, stops, hustle rebounds, that turned the tide.
Lob it in, Howard. Out to Hull. 6 to shoot, Hull. Banks it in!
Even after Boston fouled out with 27 seconds left, Indiana somehow forced overtime.
There's no circumstance that we went through on or off the floor, because we had some off the floor stuff too, that they blinked, that they held their heads down, that they didn't just stand tall and face head on.
In the locker room, players sat with ice strapped to their knees, trainers rushing from one body to the next, silence heavy in the air. A season's worth of fight had just ended in a single possession. But when White stepped to the podium, her voice didn't carry heartbreak, it carried warning. She called her team a joy to coach. She praised their dignity, their unity, their fight. She didn't dwell on bad whistles or missed opportunities. Instead, she reframed the story. This season wasn't about survival, it was about identity, and that's why her words mattered more than the scoreboard. The 2025 Indiana Fever uncovered something no injury, no foul, no loss could erase: the strength to stand together when everything else falls apart. That's the foundation of a future contender.